Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me, the Old Grumpy Prosperity team, and the Prosperous Divas for this special presentation of Grow Your Mind and Money. We are interviewing Keoon Rudder, the CEO of Run Elijah, which allows businesses to have fashions with their branding. Keon has experienced the other side of the mountain, the valley, and the mountaintop, and has used those challenges to empower himself and others in learning to love themselves, stay the course, and take the actions to fulfill their dreams. Keon's willingness to share his heart, not just his knowledge to make a difference, has him be a champion for humanity. Before we continue, it's time to see what prospering thought our Mr. Ronnie has for us today. Mr. Ronnie?
All right, thank you. And I'm so glad to have Keon on as our guest today. Adjust your tactics. Be honest with yourself. Are your thoughts, actions, perceptions, assumptions, and priorities bringing the results you desire? If so, expand on them. If not, make some changes. You're capable of attaining whatever goal you choose to follow. Yet, to achieve the desired output, you must provide the appropriate input. Conditions change, and what once worked very well may no longer be effective. Be willing to recognize reality and to adjust your approach. There's no cause to be dismayed when you realize your current approach is not working well, because what you have is the opportunity to find a more effective way to operate. Today is a great time to objectively evaluate your results. Today, if necessary, you can adjust your tactics so they bring you exactly where you wish to be. When I'm present about myself and growing my mind, when it comes to the theme, adjust your tactics, is that it's not what others think about your process for dealing with the issues in front of you. It's what you think about the steps that you're taking and what needs to be done and doing it. So I'm present I make powerful adjustments as necessary. And the sooner the better. Now it's time for a special interview with Keon Rudder, Empress Nakia. Take it away.
Wow, that is all that I can say, Ronnie. So in this part of the interview, we learn about a challenge Keon faced in having his dreams, a challenge that knocked the wind out of his sails. Somehow, some way, he kept going and turned from seeming defeat to victory. So, Keon, first, thank you so very much tonight.
Thank you kindly. The pleasure is all mine.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get to the questions. Keon, please share an incident or time in your life that knocked the wind out of yourself and the going got rough.
Absolutely. So I graduated the University of Texas at Austin in 2008, and I worked at a software firm in Austin, came up with about 9 inventions around that time. And in 2009, I decided to start my own software company. It was essentially an app that you can make the schedule for the employees within 10 minutes. So for 1 employee to 10,000 employees, it didn't matter. You can make the schedule in 10 minutes. So it's a great idea. And we launched, and a couple businesses signed up. But unbeknownst to a college student who just graduated and making above 50,000, it was like, what recession? So the biggest hurdle that I had at the time was a couple business signing up, but we weren't making enough money to be sustainable. So we essentially had to close the business. So that was a very tough deal, very tough ordeal that really knocked the wind out of me, failure in the first business.
Wow. Okay, so during that time that you were dealing with this situation, did you blame other people or circumstances or yourself?
By the grace of God, I did not blame anyone, including myself. What I did do was figure out, okay, what's wrong, what did we do wrong, and how can we improve next time around? And we made two valuable mistakes that I caution others to not make themselves. The first mistake we made was we quit. You have to stay in the game long enough to catch your break. No matter what business it is, no matter what it is, stay in the game long enough to catch your break. And the second mistake that we made was we outsourced a lot of our programming in IT. So in the future, I made a cognizant note to make sure to have an onboard IT team to decrease the costs and expenditures that I would have to pay to someone else on the outside. So I didn't blame anyone, but I was very cognizant and assessed the situation to say, what did we do wrong and what could we do different in the future?
Wow. Well, that in itself is powerful. That anything wrong, it was what was missing. And you had the know-how and the right to say what's missing and what needs to be put in place wrong. So thank you so much. That so, okay, now at what point did you stop caring? Well, you said you didn't have anyone that you blamed. You didn't blame the circumstance or yourself, but there was something that was missing there. So forward, and at what point did you see the light and freedom of possibility and what actions you needed to take? Like at what point? Walk me through it.
Let me take a step back, though, and talk about blaming others. So although I didn't necessarily blame anyone, we're human, and we do care about what other people think about ourselves and our success. So failure hurts, and other people are watching. Like, there were other people invested in me, and that failure did hurt. So although I didn't blame them, I had to take a step back and look at the situation and say, how much do I care that I failed? So I've always been a confident person in the past, but it was in 2013, the first business failed, software business failed about 2011. I took a little break, worked a management job up in Minnesota. Then I came back to Houston in 2013, and I said, I'm all in on this entrepreneurship thing. And it was at that moment where I made the decision, no matter if I fail again or how many times I fail, I am doing this for me, and I'm going to stick to this until I succeed. So it was at that moment that I cognizantly made the decision to say, Keon, you're going to do something for you. You're zigging when everyone else is zagging. But right now, let's do this for you and not worry about what anyone else thinks.
Wow. Got it. Powerful. So, thinking about our theme, adjust your tactics. What are you present to becoming what you want in your personal life?
Absolutely. Well, the first is our business and life is all about trial and error. I am a huge advocate on the phrase or the mantra, perseverance will pay. Not necessarily pay with money, but there's different types of successes, so it will pay off. So I'm absolutely huge on people understanding that you may not have all the answers now, but take a try. If you fail, learn from it and try again. With that, we kind of found our freedom and kind of found the light at the end of the tunnel eventually. So it took a little while, but eventually we found that light at the end of the freedom. We automated our own website when we first made it. And by automation, I mean a customer can come on, they can design the clothes themselves, the order will be automatically set to the manufacturer, the order will be made and drop shipped to the client. So once we figured out we can do that, we were like, well, why don't we give apps a try? So we started making apps for people about 2-3 years ago. And in that process, we also determined, well, why don't we private label some of our apparel? And that's been our biggest cash maker, is giving other people the opportunity to put their own logo and colors on the clothes. So to answer your question, we have adjusted our tactics. We tried a lot of things and erred, but we finally found some things that have worked for us, and we're very happy about that.
Awesome. Thank you so very much for sharing. Like, open to what you shared. So I'm going to acknowledge you, Keon, for this powerful sharing, and in just a few minutes. Now, we're asking the team to please share what they see about their life from your sharing and the difference that your sharing has created for them. So, Mr. Ronnie, would you please share with us?
Wow. You know, Keon, it is so refreshing to have a conversation. And this is what we're doing. We're having a conversation. We say it's an interview, but it's really a conversation with someone who has done the work and not the, I'll say not the kind of where somebody gets up on the video, tells you everything about business, the right way, the things you need to do and all of that stuff, but the real nitty gritty. Like, this is what you have to go through. And one of the things that you mentioned, which just inspires me, is that with what you went through, hey, because I had a business that I had to shut down. And I loved it, and I loved the people I was working with. But, I had to let that go. But it was where you said trial and error. I meet so many people in the business world, entrepreneurs, who they want an automatic solution. Mm-hmm. They don't want to try and error. They think if you're doing trial and error, you don't know what the hell that you do. Because you should already know. You should already know. Why do you need to experiment? Why do you need to test? It's like, didn't you read the book, Market Testing? Market Testing didn't say market solution. It said testing. And they figure that, well, if you're doing testing, you don't know what you're doing. You ain't ready. And so much is you trial, you error, you experiment, you twist, you adjust your tactics, and then voila, boom. You know what? This is making money for us. You didn't know that the clothing, allowing businesses to brand with your clothing line was going to be your biggest. You didn't know. No way you could know that. But you and you said, you know what? I see how this result is going. And that doesn't discount all the other work you did. Doesn't discount it. That, if anything, it points to, hey, you know what? When you in the game, you take the steps. There may not be clarity, but there is a purpose. You'll get there. So I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for pointing that out. Great observation.
Absolutely. So, Diva Nikki, would you like to share, please?
Yes, I would. Thank you. One of the things that I want to share that really stood out to me was Keeon saying having to shut down the first business. Well, first, let me go back. It's very impressive developing your own software and being able to set a schedule help to develop something where employers could set a schedule for all of their employees. That was a magnificent service to provide. That was a very significant development I want to acknowledge. And when you said to have to shut down my first business, And the reason that stood out is because you could have given up right then. You could have just gone and got a career, worked for someone. You could have just given up on being an entrepreneur. But what you showed was the heart and the spirit of a true entrepreneur, where nothing else, where to live another life just won't do. And then your statement of perseverance will pay. May not pay in money, but perseverance will pay. So hang in there. I want to thank you for what you have shared. That was magnificent. Magnificent.
Thank you kindly. I really appreciate your kind words. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, Diva Nikki.
Thank you.
I just can't step over it because what you asked us to share was the difference his sharing created for you. And Diva Nikki, I got all the acknowledgement. I didn't get the difference.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ronnie.
Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. The difference it makes for me is being encouraged to stay the course.
Okay. Anything else, Nikki?
That is all.
Thank you. So, Keon, powerful. In your sharing, us having this conversation impacted me in like every aspect of the way, right? For my part, not giving up, staying the course, and what the challenges have been, up and down. You know, you win some, you lose some. However you see it, you know, it will sees it and experiences it. The course allowed me to discover and be in wonder and be in possibility for my and for my son's life and for those that I love and those that make a profound difference, right? So in my professional life, my hands are in many different, and I wear a multitude of hats, and I be trying to throw them off sometimes. So stay in the course and how raggedy that road looks, how bumpy it gets, how many times I get thrown off course, I take a wrong direction. Staying and seeing the end result, it leaves me in a space of completion. And knowing that had I not gone through and had I not trusted the process, had I not trusted the script, and when I say script, it's not like something written down, but God's script for my life, I would not have been able to be present, and fully experience that God has for me to experience. And complacent or not, you know, I can have my pity moments. I can have my moments when I just shut down. But it doesn't change the fact that work has to be done. It doesn't change the fact that that has to be gone through. There's steps that still have to be taken. And I love how you went to Memphis. No, I could be saying Minneapolis?
Minneapolis, you're correct.
You went to Minneapolis. You got management. You did something different here. It just didn't sit right with you. And then you regrouped, and you came back to Texas, and you said, no. Failure, no, is not an option. What I see for my family and for myself, what I'm going to win. I'm going to win this game, this challenge. And no matter what it looks like or how ugly it gets or how amazing and beautiful it is, I'm not going to stop until I'm in that space. And I know that it's not over. It's difficult for me to end it because it's not over. It's not done. Because I can actually just in the beginning. So thank you for powerfully sharing, for being easy to have a conversation with, and to be so transparent, authentic, and vulnerable in your communication to where I know we all got it, Keon. And it's making
All right. Thank you kindly, Nakia. That is awesome.
So I know that we can talk to you, Keon, and there's so much more we want to talk about and share. But we will hear more from Keon later in the show. Diva Nikki, my love, Queen, please take us to break.
Stay tuned for The Corner. We are featuring music from Sandra Cross and my interview with our guest, Keon Rudder. Continue. Welcome back. We give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money, and we do it all with love. It is time for The Corner with Mr. Ronnie, so let's give him a smooch and a rose. Mr. Ronnie.
All right. Welcome to The Corner, where we are featuring music from Sandra Cross. Now, Sandra Cross is out of, let's see, where is Miss Sandra out of? Miss Sandra is she is out of the UK. That's right. We have international artists that can either get a smooch and a rose or some fertilizer. We do not discriminate. Now, the name of her track is, it's called Ja Love. So we asked the team to vote whether the track should get a smooch and a rose or if it needs more fertilizer. Let's hear Ja Love. DJ, please roll it.
Forever and forever, Jah is love.
right, that was Ja Love by Sandra Ross. Is it getting a smooch and a rose or some free fertilizer? Diva Nikki, how say ye? Man, I'm glad I ducked. She threw that bag of fertilizer. Wow. Any other comments or just fertilizer?
No, just fertilizer.
Just fertilizer. Okay, all right. I love Sandra. Well, it started out a little bit rough here for Sandra Cross. Well, let's see what our guest says. Keon, smooching a rose, or are you throwing some fertilizer on it?
There's always a little room for improvement.
So you just putting a little fertilizer. You ain't just throwing the bag at it, huh?
I guess he figured I threw enough.
Now you ain't the sympathetic one on American Idol, are you?
Oh my God.
All right. Oh, well, okay. All right. Well, Empress Nakia.
The Empress is going to give it a smooch and a couple of rose petals. The only thing, it's actually a really nice song. It's a spiritual song. It's not secular. And then listening to it in the beginning, I thought it was a secular song. And it's something that you can like sit back and just let it just listen to what the words are saying. It was long. That's why I'm not giving it, full roses. So it just depends on the environment that you're in, whether the time is adequate or not for the listening. So I'm going to go ahead and give it some smooches and some rose petals.
All right, smooches and some rose petals. Well, I'm going to give it a smooch. I thought it was a nice, sweet song. It wasn't a great song, but it was a nice song. So I'm going to give it a smooch. Now, if you like the music from Sandra Cross, or if you're like Diva Nikki throwing fertilizer on it, you can check her out, vibronic.co.uk. She's over there on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. Now, it is time to continue our interview with Keon Rudder, champion for humanity. Over to Diva Nikki.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Thank you, Keon, for staying with us for your interview. I'm so excited. In this segment, we will learn more about Keon as an entrepreneur and Von Elijah. So, Keon, please share the aha moment. Aha, when you knew in your heart of hearts that it was time for you to start Von Elijah.
So it was 2013 when I came back from Minnesota to Houston. And the first project that we were going to continue was a reversible rain umbrella that we invented in 2009. So that was the first project that we wanted to put on the table, go all in with. Then I found out in the process a couple months later, still 2013, later it's towards the end of the year, I'm actually pretty good at this design thing. Let me try to make my own basketball shorts. The basketball shorts at the time, the Jordans were the only basketball shorts that extended below your knee. Most shorts are above your knee, and they also have a high rise, so it pulls up even further on you. So I was forced to pull them down a little bit, forcing me to sag just a little bit, but I didn't want to sag. I just wanted shorts long enough to extend below my knee. So I was like, let me give this a shot. The very next day I went into the gym, I saw One woman stuffed her cell phone in her waist leggings, and another woman stuffed her cell phone in her bra. And it was at that moment I was like, well, why don't I make women's leggings as well with pockets to make it practical, and women's shorts with pockets to make it practical to go along with the basketball shorts. And with those three combined, I was like, okay, I've got to do this. I'm excited. It's time to branch out the product offering of Von Elijah. So it was later on in 2013 when I gave it a first shot to design my own basketball shorts, was that moment, that aha moment of, man, I'm ready to do this.
Wow. Okay. What circumstances, people, or new challenges come up into consideration as you do the work to hone your craft and to build your business?
So the cornerstone of Von Elijah is innovation and solving societal problems. So right now, at the moment, we have innovated quite a bit. We have a couple patents for our weighted exercise gloves, weighted apparel, weighted vest that can weigh up to 120 pounds. We have the reversible rain umbrella that's been patented as well, and a couple other inventions that are in the works right now to debut in 2020. As for solving societal problems, that really gets me excited. We're almost finished with the app at the moment that will allow people to post their individual needs and give others the opportunity to reach out to them individually and ask them how can I help them solve that need. So for us, the biggest challenge and the consideration for why we do what we do is founded in innovation and finding societal problems that are practical and finding solutions for those problems.
Hey, interesting. Very interesting. What are your measures for success from a personal and a business perspective?
Success, number one, varies from person to person, situation to situation. But for me, I believe success is incremental. You're not going to just go one day and bam, all of a sudden you're successful. Based on my experiences in life, whether that was my success of transferring from community college to the University of Texas at Austin, or the success of building a business, it takes discipline to manage your time daily and to put in the work to eventually reach your goal. So for me, business-wise and personal-wise, success is incremental. Now, in business and personal, there are 4 facets of my life that receive the most attention. First is God. So God above everything else. Every day I begin my day by reading my Bible 10 minutes a day, and I try to have some conversations with God throughout the day. So that improves my daily communication with God, and I find myself successful in other aspects of life when God comes first and above all. The second most important thing to me is fitness and health. So for 5 to 6 days a week, I work out, I make my way to the gym. It doesn't matter how I feel. Feelings doesn't play a role. If I'm sick, whatever, to get to the gym and get that in. The endorphins produced from working out can help you to feel better afterwards, even help the healing process. But fitness is very important to me. And those goals are attained by simply getting up and getting there 5 or 6 days out the week. Business is important to me, so I make time daily to accomplish the goals that are on the today list today and future list. But you got to spend your time marketing. You got to spend your time talking to programmers. You have to put in the work. And finally, helping others in need is very important to me. So every day I try to find a way or multiple ways to help others in need. Sometimes it can be as simple as picking up trash in the gym to make somebody else's job easier. Sometimes it can be holding the door for someone. But those are the 4 areas of my life that I want to be successful. So I'm cognizant every single day to do something related to God, fitness, business, or helping others in need.
Talk about leaving you moved and inspired. Okay, thank you. Wow. That really resonated, and I really wanted to just take a minute and just really just let that digest with me before I go into the next question. That's powerful. Thank you. Please share a specific moment or event where your efforts bring a smile to your face.
So motivating others is important to me. And it's all about people and solving problems. Business, of course, you have to make some money to stay in business. But for us, our goal is to motivate others, and our goal is to help others as best we can. So even on our website, for our women's leggings, there are names of industries that are predominantly dominated by men. But we put that on there to give women the opportunity to research those industries to say, hey, maybe I want to give that a shot. And it's in little things, little moments like that of motivation that makes me smile, but it goes a little bit further. I'm a big believer in saying something positive to help someone else, because the truth of the matter is every single person is struggling with something. I don't care how much money you have, how much success you've attained. If you haven't gotten there yet, or if you've already been there and you're at the top of the mountain, you're struggling with something. This sinful world is always nitpicking us and nabbing at us to break us down. So for me, I try to do something as simple in business of saying, I'm proud of you, or positive, keep going. And another way that people have been motivated by little things that I do is on the closing sentence of an email, I say something different every time, and people pay attention to those, like counting my blessings today, or most thankful, or humbled, or eager to earn your business. And some people will point that out. Keon, why did you tell me you're proud of me? And I will tell them the specific situation that made me proud of them. Or they come to me and say, Keon, what you wrote under that description of a product on a website really inspired me, and I like that. It made me feel good, and that made me smile. So for me, it goes beyond happiness, and what makes me smile goes beyond the sale that's made. It's the lives that are impacted, and the people who actually feel some kind of joy because of something I said or did, and it makes me smile.
I like that. Thank you for sharing. So now we're now asking the team to please share what they see about their life from Keon sharing and the difference his sharing created for them. Mr. Ronnie?
Well, first off, I want to share the difference that your sharing has made for me. And the difference it's made for me is, I'm just going to say, let me put it like this. I think there's a quote that Nelson Mandela, Marion Williamson, one of them got it down. But part of that quote is about allowing your star to shine, so that by you shining, others can see that they can shine, that we are all children of a divine creator, and we possess the powers bestowed upon children of a divine creator. And, so I'm just kind of paraphrasing it. But you reminded me that the little notes, the text messages, the emails, all of that makes a difference. And I may not always get that it makes a difference, because the other thing that I really got present to that just made a difference for me is that you're not seeking acknowledgement. Now, I'm saying that not as an acknowledgement, but just to be present to that. And it's just a source of love, and I get present to that. The possibility I created for myself in my life is the possibility of being God's manifestation of love on earth as a possibility. So I live that way. And, wow, so what you shared just really had me be with, who I say I am, and that hey, that's how it rolls. And Man, like you said. But so that's the difference. It just brought that out. Now, what I see about my life from your share is that, we have a picture in the last segment, and it has Diva Nikki, and it says success, what people think it looks like, and it has this straight arrow going up. And then it has success, what it really looks like. And there's an arrow with a whole bunch of squiggly lines when you get there.
Oh, yeah.
And so, oh, God. And what else I get present to is that every day, well, not every day, Monday to Friday, we create, Nikki, Nakia, myself, we create our occurring world. We literally do with our words, and we align on that. And we complete in the evening. So, powerful what you shared. And, but that's what I see for my life, is that to let my light shine myself. So thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie B. Empress Nakia.
So, for me, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So, for me, I to the goodness of people, and the ability to make the choice to love on others, to make a difference, feel a need, to create solutions. I have this saying, this is real people with real problems, and we create real solutions. And without people in the world doing that, there's no way to make the difference. And being okay with differences of opinion and not holding on to it, not holding on to that baggage and carrying it with you, but knowing and clearly knowing why I do what I do, the impact that I'm able to make on others unselfishly, and stepping outside of myself and being present to what they're dealing with, or what concerns them, what matters to them. And in my listening, being able to recreate is the word I'm saying, but share with them what they've shared with me, so they've not gotten it, and not solving their problems, but allowing them through discovery and through sharing and conversation, allowing them to see what is possible for their lives themselves. Because if I give it to them, there's value in it. If I fix it for them, then they're going to have more situations and problems, want other things fixed. But that solves nothing. So for me to really be able to choose the decisions, that choose what I do, and the people that I'm able to impact, and just like the simple thing of picking up the trash in the gym. At church, my dad, he takes care of all the upkeep of the church and everything. And just today, it was paper towels on the floor. I picked it up. But it's not because my dad is responsible at the end of the day for making sure that things are managed, but because it could be anybody. Wiping off the counter, just making stuff, putting things back into integrity, putting integrity into the space, and alleviating something that someone else may have had to do, and they don't even have to know. It's just simply because this is who I be and the difference I choose to make. So thank you, Mary, and the difference that it's making for me right here and now, being able to re-presence myself on what choices I've made and what choices I will make, and knowing that there is a difference on both sides, and being able to be a contribution even when there's no acknowledgement, even when people don't see or don't say anything, but knowing that I really can make a difference and be a contribution and not to stop. So, again, thank you.
Wow, thank you, Empress Keeon. You know, for me, Keon, what it brings about is, once again, being encouraged to be intentional and to persevere, and to not just prioritize business so much and our goals so much that we neglect the true things that really matter, and that is taking care of ourselves and being of service to others. So taking care of myself and being of service to others. Thank you. Now, we could share forever, but I want to thank you, and it looks like Empress Nakia is ready to take us to break. Nakia?
Up next, Johnny's Sunshine Lounge. Lose the baggage. Please stay tuned.
Welcome back. We give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money, and we do it all with love. Shani left the keys to the lounge with Diva Nikki. Let's see what's going on in the lounge.
Well. Welcome to Shine and Sunshine Lounge, where we feature a mixture of goodies that will stimulate your mind and just maybe have you tap your feet. Tonight, we have an awesome poet, Shani, the original Sunshine Princess of Poetry herself, performing Anything for You, My Love.
Anything for you, my love. Anything for you, my love. His words music to my ears, like gently wiping away tears. His need for me to be stress-free. His need for me to be happy. Wanting me to know he loves me. Driving the distance to save me. His love. Strong hugs and gentle kisses. Always his special lady. Acknowledge what's been missing. Holding me so close to inhale my scent. Reminding me that I am a gift. Smiling, happy to be by my side. Making sure I know he loves being in my life. With no plans to go anywhere. His plan includes many more years. Including old age. Laughing all the way. Yes, finding the happy in it all. With his imprint on my soul, he placed many yesterdays. Stay in the distance. We are meant to love like this. We are meant to smile like this. We're meant to support like this. I enthusiastically stand on cloud 9. His presence changes things. He picks me up when I'm lacking, keeps me laughing. In fact, our friendship shows just that. How we have each other's back. So I know he means it when I hear him say, anything for you, my love. His words, music to my ears.
Tap, 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 and snap, snap, snap. Channel is Anything for You, My Love, by Shani, the original Sunshine Princess of Poetry. Getting some snap, snaps or some rotten tomato. Now, I'm going to start off with Keon, our guest. Did you like that, Keon, or are you throwing tomato?
No, I like that. I like that. It was heartfelt. It was very good. It was very well done. So I'm not going to give it a tomato. I am going to give that one, was it snap, snap?
Yes, snap, snap. Snap, snap's the word.
I'm snap, snapping it.
Mr. Roddy, what are you doing? Snap, snaps or Rotten Tomatoes? You might bias. Maybe not. What are you doing?
Well, hey, I gotta go with. I have to go with snap, snaps. I liked it. I thought it was a really nice poem, really smooth, and what did Keon say? Heartfelt. Heartfelt. I liked it. Snap, snap, and a toe tap.
All right, all right. Empress Nakia, what say you about anything for you? I don't know why I just want to change when I say the title. Anything for you, my love.
Don't make me laugh right now. Snap, snap, toe tapping, loving it all the way around. Thank you. That's it. Can you hear me? I said.
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, okay, Nikki.
Well, thank you. I am giving this selection snap, 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 snap. Snap, 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 snap. Now, if you enjoyed the performance from Shani, you can check her out at shanithepoet.com. That's SHANIE, thepoet.com. On Facebook, // Sunshine Lounge, and also at the Old Grumpy Radio Network. Now over to Empress Nakia. No, actually over to Mr. Ronnie for Lose the Baggage. Mr. Ronnie?
Thank you. I will do my best here. Now, if you compare Grow Your Mind and Money to an airline, you would notice we have no plane. We have no checkout lines. We have no attendants, pilots, or flight. What we promise is we will support you in losing your baggage. Baggage in this case is the form of a complaint, but not just any old complaint, a complaint that has persisted over time. Now, this complaint does not have to be something traumatic or upsetting, and it could be. It could be. The complaint can be as simple as, I wish my spouse would take out the garbage. It pisses me off when they just leave it for me to take out. Why can't they just take it out? You know, nothing where you go run and get a divorce, but it kind of just rubs for like, homework with the kids. What? Now, if you are someone who never complains, and I don't complain, I go with the flow, maybe you have nonverbal complaints. Something or someone rubs you wrong, but you always, let it go. But it really does rub you wrong, and you might get a little pissy about it, but you don't say anything. I'm saying I ain't complaining. Consider that's a complaint. Now, we're going to do an exercise with our guest, Keon. We asked him to look at an area of life that's important to him for persistent complaint. Now, again, not something traumatic. That's just, something rub you wrong. Now, let me give you a little context for our conversation. As human beings, we love to be right. And often what hides something from our view is our righteousness. In our current world, it's not righteousness. We are simply right. That's all. That's all. We just, this is how it is, and we're right about it. Now, we want you to create the following categories: money, freedom, relationships, health. What we would like you to do is select a category where you would like to have a breakthrough. Under that category, write down a complaint or issue you have that has persisted for a while. And when that issue comes up, what way of being rises with it? Do you get angry or sad, maybe resigned or indifferent? Whatever way you feel expressed as a way of being. Now, if you rarely complain, select a category and answer this question. What have I been putting up with or resisting or giving up on? Write the complaint that keeps persisting in that area. Write what way are you being around this issue, or how do you behave? Now, our guests Keon, Nikki, Nakia, and I are doing the exercise with you. What is the future that immediately gets created when this issue comes up? How do you behave? How do you feel? What actions do you take? Now, I'm going to check in with everyone and see how they are doing with the exercise. Now, for me, the category is relationships. And the persistent complaint and the way I behave or feel when this issue arises. Okay. So, again, the category is relationships. And my complaint is that my sister and roommate, who I love dearly, has been there for me, got my back, creates problems. Will create something simple, it'll become a problem. And then that slows down the show. And what happens is it pisses me off and it distracts me. Now, the future that gets immediately created when this arises, there'll be something that needs to be done that she's responsible to handle. And she'll start working on it, and then there'll be a problem. And it'll be like this big problem, Harry problem. And it's like, well, hey, wait just a minute. Well, what has to be done? And now we're spending time working on this problem. And now I'm pissed and distracted. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. So now, Diva Nikki, please share your category, the persistent complaint, and the way you behave or feel when this issue arises. And what's the future that gets immediately created?
Well, honestly, like I don't have a complaint right now.
Or something that just rubs you a little bit the wrong way.
Something, okay, well, something that rubs me the wrong way, maybe it is a complaint, is not having enough time. It always seems like I don't have enough time. And I don't know why I don't have enough time, because I don't know where the time is going. I don't know where it's coming. I don't know why it's the same amount of time in every day that everyone else has. So, we'll figure that out. But hey, time.
Okay, and okay, so you have that's a good one. That really is a good one. So we're gonna just say it's in the area of freedom. Okay.
Okay, in the area of freedom.
Right, and in the area of freedom, you don't have enough time.
I don't have enough time in the area of freedom.
Yeah, you don't have enough time. Okay, for all that you want to get done, should get done, whatever. But yeah, so
exactly.
Yeah, you don't have enough. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. And yeah, how does that make you feel again?
It makes me feel frustrated. Makes me feel tired. Makes me feel anxious. Makes me feel overwhelmed. Makes me feel like I need help. Like I need another me. Like I need 10 other me.
Frustrated, tired, 10 other you.
Master Universe, God, I need 10 other me to delegate things to for my time. Thank you.
And what's the future that immediately gets created when you get present to that you don't have enough time?
The future that gets immediately created, the future that gets immediately created is not getting things done, feeling incomplete, feeling like my days are incomplete.
Your day is incomplete. So the future is that. So what happens is that you don't have enough time. You feel frustrated, tired. You need 10 of you, and things just don't get complete.
Mm-hmm.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Wash, rinse, repeat. Okay, let me see. Empress Keeon, are you available for this part, or we're being responsible this evening to make sure we take care of Empress Keeon?
I would like to contribute to have a constant complaint that I was present to in my listening. So for myself, coaching a program, and my area would be relationships, even though I need to be talking about health right now. Because I got to complain about it, but that's all right. So my area is going to be relationships because it's something that really does need to be resolved. And I'm coaching a program, and it's a program that I've been through before I was requested to coach. And there are a couple of participants in the program that, and the theme is where there's no integrity, right? And there's a listening that I have for this participant, and as much as I try to engage people and ask what contribution are they going to make to other people that are trying to powerfully complete this program, all I get is silence and hesitation and, I'm going to help this one person. But that one person was not the way that you got to where you are to be a contribution and not just one person. So that leaves me frustrated where I've gone to have conversations to get complete with other people as to not disrupt, because it's a distraction. And it's frustrating. It makes me mad because that's not how the program works. That's not the way it's designed to work, shall I say. And so I get left with wanting to have a conversation with these participants and hear that they're not about community. Ronnie?
So, just so I'm clear, it's about relationships, and and basically the complaint is that you have a participant that is looking out for themselves and not supporting everyone else.
Correct. 2 people. Absolutely.
Okay. So you have 2 participants who are not supporting the team. They'll support each other or support themselves, but they're not supporting the team. So they're not pulling their own weight.
Exactly, and they're in a relationship, and the only way they got to where they are.
Well, without all the details, the complaint is because if they were pulling their own weight and supporting the team, whether they were in a relationship or not wouldn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what we just want to focus on. The complaint is that they're not supporting the team and pulling their own weight.
Exactly.
And that has you frustrated, it has you mad, and has you distracted.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. And what's the future that gets created immediately when this issue arises for you?
They need the program.
Wait, say what?
I said they need to be put out of the program.
No. I said, that's a future you would want to have happen. No, what's the future that does get created immediately when this issue arises, sort of?
You know, I actually get selfish and committed to the other participants and disassociate myself with them.
Okay, so the future that gets created is that when this complaint goes up, you leave them alone and you concentrate on the other participants.
That's what happens.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Yes, Lord.
All right, so it's relationships. And you have two participants who don't support anyone except themselves. And when it comes up, what happens is you ignore them and you start working with the other participants. Wash, rinse, repeat.
That is exactly correct. Thank you, Ron.
And you're left you're left distracted, frustrated, and mad.
Yes.
Wash, rinse, repeat. Got it. Okay. Now, Keon, you're our guest.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Good. Okay. I got it.
Hello?
Okay. All right, Diva, Nakia, I just want to make sure I got it. Hello, you can't hear me? Nakia? Okay, well, I don't know. All right, Keon, you are a guest. You do not have to participate in this segment if you don't, but if you would like to, would you like to go ahead and participate?
Absolutely, I'd love to participate.
Okay, and what is your category?
So I've been kind enough to have God bless me with fantastic health and the ability to work remotely, so that takes care of health and freedom. The last two remaining are money and relationships, and the category I'm going to focus in on is money, but I do want to put a caveat. The relationships, if it's dealt with respect, honesty, and trustworthiness, it can lead to more money. So I wanted to
put you on that. I'm with you.
It come into play. But money's an issue for most people, and I want to touch on that because as an entrepreneur at the beginning, money was very hard to come by. It went into pocket quite a bit, and it's something that a lot of people can relate to. So, I mean, it's very obvious, from feeling scared to feeling anxious to feeling angry. Like, why don't I have enough? What is going on? What am I doing wrong? Like, how do I get more? So you're questioning everything comes into play when you don't have enough money. And those feelings are normal. Those feelings are experienced by the majority of the world. So it's something that I definitely wanted to touch on. And I definitely put steps in place for when that situation comes and even before it comes. So I'm a big believer in paying my tithe, give God his 10% first out of everything. It doesn't make sense in this world, but it makes sense in the spiritual world because I'm giving back to God what he blessed me with, and he blesses me with more because I'm faithful to him. Budgeting is very important as well to plan for those times, but even when you don't have enough, I think it's important to budget what little you do have because you have priorities and there are things that should take precedence over others. It varies from person to person, but I budget, especially when money gets even more tight. I budget much more. And then saving, I'm a big saver. I love to save. It's not feasible for everyone to save 60%, but if you could only save 5%, 10%, that's better than saving nothing. So I'm huge on saving in order to prepare for a rainy day. And what I can't save or what I can't handle, what I can't take care of or what's out of my control, I give to God.
Got it. Now, okay. Now, Keon, your category is money.
Correct.
So what's the persistent complaint or the thing that rubs you wrong, and how do you behave or feel when that issue arises?
Well, the persistent complaint that most people can relate to is I don't have enough. Give me some.
Keon, I grew up in Chicago. Okay, let me explain something. I grew up in Chicago, okay? And in the political world, there's this famous political figure who said, no matter how tainted the money is, it taints enough. So like you said, don't have it. Okay, that's good. A persistent, you don't have enough, and you're doing the work. I mean, you're a good person doing the right things, and you don't have enough, or it can occur that way. So, how does that have you feel when you get present to I don't have enough?
Well, at the beginning of the business, it was very hard, and it felt very anxious living paycheck to paycheck, and as an entrepreneur, most people know you're not even getting a paycheck yet for the first year. So it was tough. It was very challenging, and there was some studies done, quite a bit of scientific studies that showed your money is tied to your intelligence and even your IQ. So the study was done to a couple of fields, I believe in either Africa or India, where they tested the farmer's IQ a couple months, like let's say, for instance, they got paid on a January. They tested their IQ 3 months after they got paid, but because they only get paid once a year. So they tested their IQ a couple times throughout that year period, leading up until when they get paid the following year. And the study showed that when you do get paid, your IQ rises. It's easier for you to think, make better decisions about your current situation and your future. So coming back to your question, being financially insecure can affect every aspect of your life, including your health and including your mental well-being. So there's a lot of emotions that go through with the stresses of not having enough money, and literally you put in the emotion, and I can say a lot of people have experienced it. I really wanted to touch on money because that is an issue for a lot of people.
So right now, the area is money, and the persistent complaint that you have is you don't have enough. And one of the ways that it shows up for you is you get anxious. Is that correct?
Anxious, and the decision making is affected. Where do you spend that money? Are you enjoying?
And you get indecisive.
Well, you second guess a lot. So should I have spent it?
Okay, so you get anxious and you start second guess. Man, have you been hanging out in my head? So you get anxious and you start second guessing. Okay.
Absolutely, and that affects your belief system while you're in there. So now you're not enjoying the moment. Now you're worried.
You start second guessing and questioning yourself.
Absolutely.
Wow. Man, like I said, I don't know, man. I think you visited my head one night. I try to stay out the neighborhood, you know. So call my own mind. Okay. Now, there's a future that immediately occurs when you recognize that. Wow, you know, when you get present to, wow, you know what? For whatever I'm doing, what we're up to, I don't have enough cash. And there's the anxiousness, the indecisiveness, the second guessing, and the questioning. But there's a future that gets created, like, you know, that immediately. What future arises for you?
It depends on your mindset, not your external situation per se, although your external situation can affect your future in that moment. But to answer your question, it really depends on your mindset, and there's multiple mindsets, but I'll focus in on two. If your perspective is, I don't have enough, this is the worst, and you start complaining, your immediate future is dismal and stressful and annoying.
Dismal, stressful, and annoying?
Absolutely. Your whole situation is bad. But if your perspective changes, and in that moment you go to a higher power or even you not worry about the current situation, you worry about tomorrow more than the stress you're having now, it can affect you positively in that very moment.
I got you. Know what? We're going to look at that in just a second, but you really kind of touched on the next part. But because I really, if you notice, we don't fix anything because one, you're not broken and you don't need to be fixed. And as if the Empress was like managing this segment, she'd tell you, we're in a conversation. And in that conversation, you're big enough and powerful enough to see what there is to see for yourself. Now, wow. So now my issue was that my sister and roommate creates problems, and it drives me crazy. And and it distracts. And what I really got was years ago. Now, I love the women in my life. I do, and because I have beautiful women in my life who are beautiful spirits, and we watch out and take care of them. And I have my brethren, but that's a different thing. And one of my sisters, as close as we were, I mean, we had a big falling out. And what the big falling out was that there was a point where you know what, sis, I love you, but you ain't going to grow with me around. And this ain't a doing it for you thing, like, well, I'm doing this for you. No. But I got that. I said, you know what, I need to be doing, because what I was doing was being in her business and in her life. And she was big enough, dynamic, powerful enough to run her own life. And for me to be there in the relationship we had was not serving me or her. And there was a life I was choosing. And it was time for me to stop.
Ronnie B, did we lose you? Ronnie B? Okay, well, it looks like technology may have taken him away, and he shall return. He shall return. So while we await his return, I have no idea where he was going, with his story. But let's see.
All right, sorry about that. Thank you. And okay, I may carry on. Thank you. So I'll just pick up from here. So my sister, who I love dearly, we had a falling out over me choosing to move to Houston and her living her life. And what I look at is that I don't want that to happen again. I don't want that to happen again. This is my sister. I love her, and it's time that we both moved on. And I would never abandon her or anything. But hey, I don't want her to, And now the reality. Now here's the reality, because that all sounds, kind of like nice, right? The reality is that if I move on and she doesn't do well, what does that make me look like? And the time that she done spent working with me, being good, supporting me. That's the real deal. And it's like, wow, because I don't want to look bad, like, oh my God, somebody worked, had faith in me, and what did they get? So what I see possible is being a stand for her greatness. And that, yes, look at all the things that she has learned, skills that she has developed, and be proud of that, and be loving and gracious and a support. So that's what I, see is possible now. Now, let's see, Diva Nikki, your issue was around time. Time won't give me time. And so your issue was around time, and it leaves you, and not having enough time. That leaves you frustrated, tired, and you wish that there were 10 other you.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you now see possible around the issue of time?
What I now see possible is more intentional about time blocking, and I see the possibility of what I need and who I need coming my way, so that I can delegate onto others and experience this time freedom. They are on the way. Thank you. We receive them right now. Yes, thank you. They are on the way. Thank you in advance. Thank you. They are on the way. Time freedom is on the way. Yes, delegated items are on the way. Delegated duties are on the way. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Wow.
Oh, I got present. Oh, I got so present.
Wow. That manager operations person. Different conversation though. Empress Nakia, your issue was around relationship. Two participants that you're coaching, and the future is there's going to be some frustration, madness, and you'll ignore them and just work with the other ones. What do you now see possible?
What I now see possible is my ability to have a conversation with them and get flat about what's in my presence and how their impact. Because if I don't have that conversation, the completion of this program will be ineffective because I was not being responsible for who I was being in the process. And no one else can have a breakthrough that I'm standing for if I don't create a breakthrough myself.
Wow.
That's powerful, Keeon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, because you do make a difference.
Thank you.
You do make a difference, my dear. And it's like Diva Nikki will say something, and in the moment there's a resistance. Like I'm like, girl, why are you mentioning this to me? But that don't mean I didn't hear it, and that doesn't mean it didn't make a difference. I may just not be in that space at that moment, but 3 days later, you know what, she did say that. So you never know the impact, but it made a difference. Keon, your issue was, you had an exciting, fun issue. Your exciting, fun issue was money. Don't have enough. It leaves you anxious, indecisive, second-guessing, questioning yourself, and the future that automatically occurs when you're in that space is dismal, stressful, and annoying. Brother, I'm ready to go have a drink for you. What do you now see possible?
I see better financial management and how you budget the little that you have. There's a phrase used for a couple, 10 years, 20 years now. It's not how much you make, it's how much you save. You can have someone, and I've seen this happen in real life, you can have someone make $35,000 a year with 3 kids to put through school, and they can have more saved, working side jobs and whatnot, and based on their lifestyle, they can have more saved than someone else who's making 6 figures with a nice house with no kids to put through school. All comes down to what lifestyle are you living and discipline, financial discipline, your budget. But the second thing that I think is possible is giving God control of the things that stress you. Now, science can tell you that stress can lead to many diseases and a lot of problems. So I'm a big believer in being stress-free and living in peace. Peace doesn't mean you're joyful and everything is perfect. Peace means no matter what's going on around you, you can keep your wits about you and keep a positive attitude. So I personally like to give God anything that I can't handle, and it's not just a one-time thing. So, like, if I'm struggling with money right now, it would be, God, look, I'm struggling with this. Please take it. And in another 20 minutes, I'll start worrying and being anxious. God, I'm struggling with this. Take it.
Sometimes you got to go with that.
Rinse and repeat until you feel less stressful or you've made the money necessarily to accomplish the task. So anything is possible when your mindset is correct and when you give God what you can.
I love that. And, something that I want to add on, Keon, just as a possibility. And the possibility is called resources. And part of it, I'm saying this is a little self-serving for Old Grumpy Radio Network. When you create partnerships, that allows resources that weren't available to you to become available. So, for instance, a company has $1 million, they have $10 million in production facilities, and they're your partner. Well, what becomes available is resources. So you don't have $1 million or $10 million, but they do. And as we learn to develop and cultivate our resources, I've often said this: I don't need to own a Lear jet. If I have a partner or relationship with someone who has a Lear jet and says, Ryan, with what you're doing and what y'all doing, man, you need to use my Lear jet. So you create the resource. And resources are give and take. And the biggest resource is creativity. It's creativity. So just want to share that little tidbit. Now, I want to thank Diva Nikki, the Empress, for powerfully participating in the exercise. And Diva Nikki, it was really perfect. It was really perfect because you really demonstrated how quick you saw a complaint. And like we said, it ain't got to be something big and traumatic, but it was important to you. So thank you for that. And Empress, just really, really powerful. Thank you for letting me take your segment tonight. I love you. I'm not going to keep it. I promise. You can have your segment back.
A pleasure.
And a special thanks to Keon. You were so generous. And, just thank you for playing with us during the exercise. Now, listeners, this exercise is not about fixing anything. It is about providing an access to power that you can create, that you can create. You don't have to wait for us. You can do this exercise yourself. Now, Diva Nikki, please take us away.
Yes, thank you. Coming up in the next segment, the finale, Keon's final interview and future wealth.
Welcome. We give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money, and we do it all with love. Over to Diva Nikki for the finale.
Well, Keon, thank you for sharing. And I have a few more questions. So, are you ready?
I am.
All right, well, let's go. What challenges do you see lurking in the water that will try to slow you down or take you off the path from having your business succeed beyond expectations?
Fantastic question. The challenges that I see lurking in the water that will try to slow me down or have my business not reach its expectations. The first one is time management, and that's pivotal Because if I am not able focusing on what's important or let little tasks take up my time, then it can definitely hinder current projects or the development and thought of future projects. So time management will be number one. And the second one is constructing a team, because as we grow, we have to bring on more people. The second hurdle will be constructing a team that shares my values and the company's values, because the people you surround yourself with can either enable you to success or deter you away from success. So I have to be very cognizant of the people that I bring to the team and make sure that they embody the values that we think that are important.
Got it. Please share 2 pitfalls you have seen people fall into when it comes to being consistent in their actions for having their dreams and desires manifested.
The first pitfall that I've seen people fall into that can get them off track with their dreams and desires is allowing their feelings to dictate their actions. Now, let me be very clear.
Okay.
Your feelings matter. Your feelings absolutely matter. It should matter to you, even if it doesn't matter to anyone else. Your feelings matter. So you should take time to assess your feelings. How do I feel? Why do I feel like that? It is okay to feel good. It's okay to feel depressed. It's okay to feel bad and upset. There's nothing wrong with that. There is a difference between how you feel and what you do. Now, what a lot of people tend to do is, well, I don't feel like working out today, so I won't. I don't feel like being respectful, so I won't. I don't feel good, so I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm of the belief I may not feel X, Y, and Z, but I have a task that needs to get done, and it needs to get done, period. So I may not feel like wanting to be nice to my niece and nephew, or you may not want to feel nice to be nice to your husband or spouse. But there's a task that needs to get done. There are things that you have to do to show love to your spouse, no matter how you feel. I think feelings are not bad in and of themselves. They're just indicators. But your actions is what dictate who you are and where you're going. And for the second pitfall that I see people, it's a lack of perseverance. And I keep coming back to perseverance because it's an important one. Now, what a lot of things happen in business is you have a hurdle, something happens, it doesn't work out, and you just quit and give up, or this is too hard. There's no business out there that you'll start that's going to be, that I deem super hard or super difficult. Most things aren't hard. You have hurdles that you choose not to continue to persevere until you overcome. So all business is a series of hurdles. That, oh, well, I don't know where to sign up for an LLC or individual proprietorship. Well, then go do a little research. Ask someone. Okay, so that hurdle's overcome. Well, I'm not getting many clients. Well, did you sit down with another person in your field to figure it out? So coming back to trial and error, these are 2 things that I think a lot of people fall into pitfalls, is allowing their feelings to dictate their actions, and people who lack perseverance and don't continue when they reach a hurdle, they don't continue to overcome that hurdle.
Nice. I agree. Very well put. Would you please share with us one practice you use daily to keep yourself in action and focused on the results you intend to produce?
I'm going to cheat and go with 2. I have one, but on this one, I'm going to reiterate the importance in my life of putting God first. I firmly believe true wisdom comes from God. There's worldly wisdom, there's godly wisdom, and it's in that wisdom you're able to make decisions. So I don't feel like treating this person respectful, but look, God said I need to do this, so let me buck up, do the right thing, and even if I don't feel like it. So I'm a big believer in God first, God above all, God in every decision. But to answer your question, one practice that I use daily, it has to come down to writing down your goals. I'm a big believer in that. Now, there was a Harvard study done in 1979, and obviously Harvard is a great school, second only to the University of Texas at Austin. But Harvard is a fantastic school, and out of the people who graduated in the class of 1979, they asked them, hey, who wrote down goals, who has goals, and what are your goals? So 84% had no specific goals at all. 13% had goals but didn't write them down on paper. And 3% had clearly defined goals and they wrote it down on paper. 10 years later, when they went back to check on those people, they found that the 13% who had goals but didn't write them down were still earning 2 times as much as the 84% who didn't have goals at all. Even more astonishing, the 3% who had clear goals and wrote it down, they were making 10 times the amount as everyone else, just because they wrote down their goals. These are all smart people. These are Harvard graduates. So for me, I think the biggest thing that has worked for me in my life and what I recommend to others is write down your goals, your personal goals, your business goals, your daily goals. Write them down. There's something unexplainable about writing down your goals and having them come to fruition. But I don't try to explain it. I just know that it works, and science has even proven that it works, so I would highly recommend write down your goals.
Got it. Thank you. Now, tell us, what do you have on your plate? And how can our listeners learn more about your services and your projects?
The next big thing that we're working on, it's not going to be released till 2020. We're creating our own shoes that I'm super excited about. So it's going to be very original, very creative, and we're super stoked about that. So stay tuned for the shoes. The next immediate thing that's going to happen before the shoes is going to be our own EHR. We're going to produce our own electronic health records app for doctors, dentists, and people in the medical field to keep patient records much more easily, and one that can actually talk to other systems, whether you have that system or not. So we're excited about that. And in the next 4 to 6 weeks, we're going to launch our Helping Others app, Helping Others in Need app, and we're super stoked about it. I'm a big believer in helping others, lending a helping hand, and this is one of those which will connect different religions, because a lot of churches have resources such as food and people, and they do help out a lot. They help out at nonprofit stuff, and nonprofits has a lot of resources. But for right now, each of those are separated. So I am building a system where all of the churches can sign up, all of the nonprofits can sign up, and regular people can sign up, and you can see your neighbor's need right down the street. So I'm super stoked about that. We're excited to launch that, and I think that's going to be a game changer in the entire world. So stay tuned for that. And obviously, we're doing the app construction, so anyone who has an idea about an app or wants to create their own app, it could be wellness, it could be for finance, it can be for fashion. We can help create it. And it sounds expensive, but we try to make it as cost-effective as possible. For instance, again, coming back to money, not everyone has it, so we plan for that. Hey, just pay 25% down, and we'll build the app in its entirety so you can start making money off of it before you have to even pay another dime. So we try to do our best to not only solve society's needs, but just work with individuals to help them reach their goals. Because everyone has a dream on their own. Some people have given up on them. Some people haven't. We're just here to do our best to help others reach and accomplish their dreams because we're living our dream.
That is phenomenal. I gotta admit, I was not prepared to hear all of that. So, Keon, please stay for the rest of the show. Okay, we're going to team. Anything you would like to share from the interview? Let's start. Empress Nakia, what would you like to share or acknowledge from the interviews?
What I'm clearly present to is your, Keeon, ability to communicate in a way that you hear the authenticity and the generosity in who you are and that you make for so many people. I would definitely love for all of us to stay connected. Well, Prosperous Divas around the bay, we connected, but Keeon. Oh. I want you to know that you were sharing about feelings, and whether you feel good or not, it doesn't carry the day. You still have a responsibility, and you still have task or a process that has to be complete. Feelings are only temporary, and I got confronted by that, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And so I will complete this show in the final segment of the show because I have a responsibility, and I own why. And I thank you for powerfully creating this experience for each and every one of us.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you for your kind words.
Absolutely.
Empress Nakia, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I get it. Thank you. Mr. Ronnie, what would you like to share or acknowledge from the interviews?
Wow. Well, Keon, first, thank you for sharing so deeply, openly, and authentically. Thank you for participating in the exercise. And I pray you got value from that exercise. But because I know I got value from your participation. And there was something that you said, and it's just really great. And we share it. We say this statement a lot, and it's this: we all have feelings. We have feelings, but the question is, do your feelings have you? That's when it's a problem. That's when it's a problem. When your feelings have you. Because you are no longer running the show. And the other thing is that you cannot give someone else perseverance. That really opened up for me big. You cannot give someone else perseverance. That's something that's available to them when they choose to generate it. But it's not something you can give somebody. You can demonstrate it in your own deeds and actions, but you can't give it to somebody. So you have to move on with those who are persevering equally. So just wanted to acknowledge that. That's it.
For me, thank you, Mr. Ronnie. For me, Keon, I cannot pick out. It was everything. It was really, really everything. You shared so deeply. You shared so authentically. You shared so passionately. And you shared so much about service. I mean, more than anything, I get, no matter what you're working on, no matter what's happening, put God first. Give things to God. Trust the process and persevere. But serve, no matter how you feel, no matter how you feel, serve. Please stay for the rest of the show, Keon. Thank you for your sharing and being on Grow Your Mind and Money. It has been wonderful. But please stay. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the show. Over to Empress Nakia for Future Wealth.
All right. We experience the occurring world and future from conversations we choose to generate for having the future and a current we desire. Experienced, expressed, and producing results in our lives. We have a little exercise intended to empower you in clearing the space so you can be present to your occurring world and future. Now, for all those that know me, pen and paper in hand, you got to be ready. Okay. Let's list our categories. Create the following: passion, intimacy, romance, and values. 4 categories: passion, intimacy, romance, and values. Now, under each category, answer this question: where or with whom do I lack freedom or the future sucks? That is your question. Where or with whom do I lack freedom or the future sucks? Next, answer these questions. How long have I lacked freedom or the future sucks in this area or with this person or group of people? Next question. Am I willing to have a breakthrough in this area or with this person, group of people? I would like for everyone, I make the request that you be honest and know that it is not good or bad if you are not willing to have a breakthrough. It is simply what is so. If you are willing to have a breakthrough in this area or this person or group of people, what conversation are you willing to have that will allow you to be vulnerable so others can see your strength? This is powerful, y'all. The access to power is communication. Your ability to be vulnerable is the key to your breakthrough. Now, as always, I would love for you to keep working on this exercise during the week. If you have any questions or need any coaching, you know to freely email us, divas@prosperousdivas.com. A world of peace and prosperity, one listener at a time. Until next time, grow your mind and money. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Peace, love, and blessings.